Hey, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be going into the powers and abilities of Darth TRAYA from the Sith Triumvirate. But before we begin, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and consider becoming a join member if you wish to support further. Otherwise, let's jump straight into it. So she was a Force-sensitive person of prestigious skill and power. TRAYA used a wide variety of Force abilities, including Force Horror, Force Speed, Force Crush, Force Cloak, Energy Resistance, Force Scream, Force Lightning, Force Choke, and the Mind Trick. She was also capable of using the Force to control beasts, a power that she would teach Mitra Surik during her travels on Duxon. She was known to have used an advanced Force technique known as Force Channel. TRAYA was also a master at Dark Healing, which she used to kill dozens of Sith assassins instantaneously and simultaneously on Malachor V. She was able to sever Jedi Master's connection to the Force. Mitra Surik would later behold them as worse than lifeless, an absence in the Force. TRAYA also possessed the rare ability to perceive shatter points, which she described as fractures. In her last moments, TRAYA was also skilled at predicting the future, and was able to foresee the death of Mandalorian bounty hunter Jango Fett at the hands of Jedi Master Mace Windu, approximately 4,000 years later, in a prophecy relating to the fate of the Mandalorians. She was also skilled in telepathy, being able to communicate with others over large distances. She demonstrated this when she telepathically spoke to Mitra Surik on Korriban. She telepathically informed Atris of Brianna's betrayal despite her being several light years away from Telos, while she was on Ebon Hawk. TRAYA knew the ability of breath control, which made her immune to most gaseous poisons. She taught it to the exile when she was in danger of dying from the toxic fumes of the Jektek Tar cantina during the meeting with the local exchange boss Viscus on Nar Shaddaa. TRAYA also used her healing powers to revive the Wookiee Hanhar after he was left for dead by Mira. On Onderon, she revived Colonel Tobin after he was killed by Drexel larva. TRAYA was rather proficient at using the Force to hide her presence from whomever she chose. Her skill with this ability was demonstrated on the Ebon Hawk as she whispered to Michael, making him believe he was hearing things. TRAYA also used a variation of this ability that enabled her to be seen but remain entirely unnoticed, to cloud the memory of others so that they would forget her presence or even her existence. She was capable of modifying the memories of even Jedi, for instance, selectively modifying the memories of the Jedi Michael. When he discovered the true scale of TRAYA's plans, she altered his memory to make him forget her completely. TRAYA then modified his memory of what he had discovered, burying it so that he could remember what he had discovered about her plans at a time that suited her better. TRAYA's skills with this technique were such that she could render herself completely invisible to Jedi, even ones that were in close proximity to her. When Surik asked TRAYA why none of the Jedi Masters they encountered mentioned her, she lied to Surik, claiming that they perhaps did not remember or care. She described her ability as making herself very small, a talent she claimed not to use on Surik, and that was even more effective on the worlds where they traveled, where sensing Force users was difficult. On Dantooine, Jedi Master Varuk Lamar told Surik about the Sith threat, and told her of their ability to mask their presence. But he did not believe that the Force cloaking techniques alone would be sufficient to hide the one responsible for what had befallen the Jedi. Eventually, Surik would learn more about this, when TRAYA was revealed as one of the Lords of the Sith in the past. Atris explained that much of the reason she succeeded in hiding her dark persona actually lay in the fact that the Force had been stripped from her. TRAYA had extreme power over the workings of the mind, and while she was a naturally talented manipulator, she could use the Force to confuse others, or reach into their minds and find their darkest secrets. TRAYA was skilled at telekinetic lightsaber combat, which allowed her to wield at least 3 lightsabers in combat, holding each of them aloft with the Force, and having them fight with a will of their own. She was also skilled at physically wielding a lightsaber, using the combat forms Shicho, Makashi, and Surisu. She was also known to have used a rare lightsaber technique known as Trikata. When the exile would ask TRAYA about each different form of lightsaber combat, the exiled Jedi Master and former Sith Lord knew enough about each form to give Surik an accurate description. TRAYA had once been a Jedi historian, and on her way through the path of knowledge, the Jedi Code became unfit for her idea of teaching and learning the ways of the Force. She came to realize that the Force defied the tenets of the Order, that one who was to truly understand would need the contrast, not adherence to a single idea. During this time, TRAYA searched and gathered relics of the dark side. On Korriban, TRAYA indulged Surik in a tour of the tombs and excavation sites in the Valley of the Dark Lords, while showing her a profound knowledge of their history, a contempt for ignorance, and care for truth that survived to her last days. In her journey with Surik, TRAYA spoke of healing during a lesson related to skills as something about which she was knowledgeable. When asked about her eyes, TRAYA claimed to be able to heal her own damaged eyes, which were atrophied from disuse. Yet, she refused to do so, as she had the ability to see through the Force, and regarded her natural sight as a distraction. She could use the Force to enter a hibernation trance that would slow down her biological functions and make her appear dead. She used this ability on the Ebon Hawk when the Harbinger tractor beamed the freighter, and again when the Republic warship fired on it. So what'd you guys think of Darth TRAYA? Please let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and consider becoming a join member if you wish to support further. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.